Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be telling you all of the tips and tricks that I have on how to stay safe while solo traveling. So let's just get right into it. So the first tip that I have is to tell your friends and your family your itinerary so that way they know where you're going to be on which days. Like for example, I just made like a spreadsheet on Excel, like Google Sheets is what it's called, and I can insert like a little clip of it on the side here. But basically I made a list of where all my hotels were, what the address was, and which dates I was going to be staying in which hotel. And then I sent that to a couple of family members just so that way people know where you're going to be. God forbid you get lost or something happens. It would just be a lot easier for people to try to find you if they know where you're staying. So that's the first tip that I have. The second tip is to download this app. It's called Life 360, and have one of your trusted family members or friends also download it. And basically what it is it's like a GPS tracking app, and basically it goes right on your phone, and that way people from back home can track you and see like where you are, or if your phone gets stolen then they can see like where your phone is and things like that. So that's another app that I used while I was away, and it was just kind of nice because like I don't know, people could like creep on me I guess and see where I was. But anyway, you don't have to keep it on your phone. Like you could obviously undownload it after your trip is over, but that was just a safety precaution that I used. Tip number 3 is to download Google Maps offline. So basically on Google Maps you can download a certain area of the map and it'll allow you to get directions within that area offline. So if for some reason you don't have data, you can always find your way back to your hotel or things like that offline. You don't have to be online. So it basically just downloads and uses up like space on your phone. And then after you leave that area, you can just delete it, like undownload that map and then re-download a different one of wherever you are. So for example, when I went to Paris, I downloaded the whole section of Paris onto my phone, and then I was able to get directions without having to use data. So that's just good if for some reason your data stops working. If you're in like a dead spot, you can always get directions back to your hotel or wherever it is that you need to go. Tip number 4 is to always check the United States government website. If you live in the United States, obviously. They have a travel advisory on their website, and it'll tell you if it's safe to go to the area that you're planning on going to. So always look at that before you decide to plan a trip. That's what I did, and all the places that I went to were safe to go to, so obviously I continued to plan the trip. But yeah, I'm gonna link below in the description what that website is if you want to check it out, and you just type in anywhere in the world and it'll give you a travel advisory. Tip number 5. So definitely I highly recommend buying a SIM card if you're leaving the United States. If you don't have international data with your phone plan, I had to go and buy a SIM card. For me, I think that it's safer to always make sure that you have data. So for me, that meant as soon as I got to Paris, the first thing that I did was I went and I bought a SIM card, because God forbid you have to like call emergency services, or if you have to call somebody from home, or if something happens or whatever. It's always just good to have data and to be able to look things up on the internet and things like that. And so that's my next tip, is to always make sure that you have a way to connect to like people in case you're in trouble. Tip number 6 is to make copies of your passport and keep them on you or in your bag or whatever. But The thing is that if you lose your actual passport, the process of getting a new one is much easier when you have a copy of your passport. So when I went, I made a copy of my passport, I made a copy of my driver's license, I made copies of like all my plane tickets and like things like that. And I kept all these documents in a sealed plastic bag inside my backpack. Definitely do that for any trip where you're leaving the United States. Tip number 7 is, okay, so I actually learned this tip from one of my friends actually, and that's if you have an old phone, actually bring that with you on your trip, because so many times people will get their phone stolen, and especially in Europe, pickpocketing is a huge problem there, and a lot of people will get their phone pickpocketed, or they'll lose their phone when they go out to a bar or something, and you don't want to pay to get a new phone while you're abroad. That's like the worst thing that could happen, honestly. To avoid that happening, like you having to buy a new phone, bring an extra old phone that you have with you, and then you can use that phone. Like all you have to do is just go get another SIM card, and then that phone will then work. So bring an extra old phone with you just in case you lose your actual phone or it gets stolen, to save you money in the long run. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but if you're traveling for a long period of time, like I was gone for 8.5 weeks, and to me it was worth it to do that, because the odds of me getting my phone lost or stolen, I feel like were a little bit higher, just because I was gone for so long and I was traveling for so long. The last tip that I have as far as safety is to definitely always make sure that you're always aware of your surroundings. And what this means is don't get drunk or get intoxicated with drugs or alcohol. And especially if you're alone, you always want to be able to know what's going on around you. And I know it can be really hard, but like there's nothing wrong with going out and to a bar and having a couple of drinks. However, you just need to take precautions, because you're in another country that you're not familiar with and you're by yourself, and at the end of the day, the only person looking out for you is yourself. And as much as you want to believe that people have good intentions, there are really scummy people in the world. So definitely drink in moderation. Don't go out getting drunk and blacking out. And I would say another safety tip is definitely to not walk alone at night. And I did this a couple of times, but that was because they were situations where I actually had to leave and like go by myself. But try to avoid walking alone at night if you can. Sometimes it's not like an option, but if you can, I wouldn't recommend walking alone at night. And yeah, that's all I really have. Those are all the tips I have. And I'm gonna insert in this video, I actually went to Vermont for a couple of days, so I have a little bit of footage from that. So stick around in the video if you want to see what I did in Vermont a little bit. And yeah, sorry I haven't posted in the past 3 weeks, and that's just because I've been really crazy busy with working, and I'm transitioning into a new job, so I've just been really busy. But I'm gonna be making more videos. So if you have any video ideas or any questions or things that you want to see from me, definitely leave them in the comments. Let me know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because that helps let me know that people are actually watching my videos and that you guys like watching these things. So yeah, definitely let me know what you want to see, and I can make videos on those things, travel related, whatnot. Okay?